Hello guys, I'm Sean, and welcome to SG Animals. So I thought we'd try a new idea, because there's a lot that happens behind the scenes for every animal keeper. So I thought it'd be nice to share some of these occurrences. So first up we have Charlie, freshly coloured after a recent skin shed. We last saw Charlie getting an enclosure upgrade, with a fresh batch of plants, larger swimming section and better branches to climb on. But sticking to true form, the majority of the plants have been crushed or shredded already. I'm disappointed to say the least, but not overly surprised. I reckon I'll try some tougher plants in the future to see how they get on. The rest have been removed in the hope to save them. It's safe to say the new enclosure has otherwise been a success though. Often bathing in the larger water section, flying through the branches like it's nothing, and favourite spots to bask and watch me attend the other tenants. I reckon she's a happy dragon. So the other day I got to witness something I've never had the chance to before. Not with this species at least, purely perfect timing. Fresh out of finishing a water change, the large female amino shrimp came out and started releasing hundreds and hundreds of larvae all around the aquarium. Now sadly none of these guys will survive, because the young of this species need salt water to go through their metamorphosis before returning to freshwater, which is very hard to simulate in captivity and something requiring a separate personal aquarium. But an experience I'll never forget nonetheless. Safe to say when the fish clocked onto the drifting treats canvassing the aquarium, it was their Christmas come early. And to be fair, a very healthy addition to the diet. At least they haven't gone to waste and nature was able to take its course to some extent. As far as other affairs go, there's been a couple illnesses in the aquarium lately. All equipment is fully functional, no new additions, water parameters are holding no answers, there's been no bullying in the tank. It's been quite strange, and I'm keeping an eye out for the potential cause. The ruby shark with a seemingly small patch of fungus on the face. And a torpedo barb with a dramatically swollen eye. After watching the fish for a few hours, they seem to be the only ones affected. Also being some of the fastest fish in the aquarium, and concerned something spreading in the tank. Instead of removing them for separate treatment and causing extra stress, I've chosen to treat the whole aquarium as is, with some shrimp safe treatment. I hope it works. Recommended to me for the situation, and previously used in a shop I worked in. It should do the job no problem. Accompanied by a green aquarium. When treating, I've always been told the particles can reduce the air to water oxygen diffusion. so it's always worth adding an extra filter to increase surface agitation, enriching the oxygen ppm. Another topic I wanted to touch on. I'm currently dealing with an algae bloom. But why? Well, the so-called liquid carbon I recommended in a previous video. I had a look at the ingredients, actually containing quite an invasive chemical that was stopping algae growth. Apparently the way it works is by stripping the protective layer on plants, making it easier for them to absorb carbon. But in whole, not natural, sounds very unsafe and essentially false advertising. As it turns out, carbon doesn't come in a soluble form, hence most people use CO2 injection. I am disappointed in this, and I'll add a tab on the previous video correcting my misinformation. I no longer recommend this product, and my stem plants have been growing much healthier since I stopped using it. Safe to say the algae eaters are enjoying the recent algae bloom though. Then we have Gary and Phil giving me a health scare. Phil was losing fur at an alarming rate, but not exposing bare skin. Oh, by the way, these are my degus. They're the best. I have a video planned for them, but didn't want to stress them out if they were ill. Took them to the vets thinking maybe mites or skin infection. Well, it turns out, Gary's been a bit tired of his toys, so began over grooming Phil. Essentially trimming his fur, chewing it off. Now I say chewing it off, not pulling it out. Afterwards actually caught him in the act a couple times. Phil had no complaints, obviously wasn't in pain or distressed. So I've been working on changing enrichment, trying to mix things up every day. And the regrowth is proof that it's working. Jason's finished his shed and ready for a meal. Roscoe doing well, always boisterous but always a pleasure. And there's also been some new additions to the reptile shed, but I guess we'll get into that some other time.